lessons on like reading, right? And going through things that we're reading and figuring out how to analyze it. We talked about like using our five senses, and then we talked about comparing and contrasting. But now we're gonna do some more with writing. Do you remember the one writing thing that we did together? It was, you were doing like a short writing assignment about, you were talking about video games.
Yeah.
Do you remember that a little bit? Do you remember what the question was?
No.
No, not quite. So the question was about if you could make any changes to a video game, what would you do? Does that ring any bells?
Yeah,
a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna kind of keep going with that because I know you love video games.
Not really.
Not really? Not anymore?
I said not really.
Oh.
I don't like them. I like them a little bit.
You like them a little bit. Okay, is there anything that you love that we could write about today?
Sleep.
You love sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay, we could write about sleep. That's actually that's a good writing prompt. Okay, we'll switch our topic then to be writing about sleep instead of video games.
Okay.
I didn't know that you don't really like video games that much anymore. That's in progress. What do you love so much about sleeping?
I can just relax and chill.
Yeah, love the relaxing and chilling. Me too, honestly. I should sleep more. Okay, well, we can refocus on that. We will adjust and do some writing prompts about sleeping. But today, instead of doing stuff about reading and like analyze what we're reading, we're gonna start preparing more for writing. So at one point, I took a little writing sample from you. You answered a prompt and you wrote everything that you knew for like 10 minutes. Do you kind of remember doing that?
No.
It was like 10 minutes and I timed you and I just said write for that whole 10 minutes.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that at all? Okay,
No.
Well, you gave me some writing samples and I was looking at them and thinking about, okay, what are specific things that we could focus on to help make Josh a better writer, okay? To help you grow in some of your writing skills. And one of the main things that I looked at and that I think we should focus on is on your organization. So figuring out how to look at a question, think about what you're wanting to write about, and then using evidence that's organized to support what you're trying to write about, okay?
All right.
So that's kind of what we're gonna focus on today. How does that sound?
Good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to, we talked about earlier, we talked about synthesizing things that you've read and then comparing and contrasting. And so today we are going to do something new. We're going to be working on writing an outline. Have you ever written an outline before?
No.
Okay, so an outline helps us plan for our writing. So we're going to plan to write a few different paragraphs, and we're going to come up with a topic sentence for each paragraph, and then a few supporting details or some evidence that might help us write that paragraph. We're not going to do all the writing today. We're going to just work on practice our planning for it, okay?
Yeah.
Does that sound okay? Okay. Can you tell me in your own words, because I know I've been talking a lot. Tell me in your own words kind of what we're doing today. Outlining, great. Okay, so we're gonna start, I'm gonna start by, actually before you do an example, I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, what do you know about climate change? Do you know what climate change is?
Changing the weather.
Okay, so talking about like the change in the weather, do you know if it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
It's typically a pretty bad thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you an example of how I would write an outline about climate change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say the topic is climate change, so I'm gonna write climate change right here at the top. Climate change, just like that. And then we're going to write about climate change, and specifically our topic sentence is going to be climate change is real. So that's the first sentence that I'm gonna write. Our topic sentence is gonna be climate change is real. Because in my paragraphs, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna argue for why climate change is real and how it's infecting our environment and things like that. But in order to do that, I need to have some sort of organization of what I'm gonna write about in each paragraph and what sort of evidence is gonna help me understand that. So our first topic sentence is going to be climate change is real. And then I'm going to come up with 3 pieces of evidence or 3 details that we're going to put below our topic sentence to kind of support our whole paragraph. Yeah, you're good. So the first one is going to be, the first piece of evidence is that we know, number 1,